Hi, today's date is February 14th, 2022, Valentine's Day. We are here spreading the SRD love. In today's video, we have a 4300 S model SRD, and we're going to show that it's fully functional. This is a brand new tool, so this is a new SRD. Let me go ahead and say my customer's PO number. I'm going to keep their identity confidential. They are in the Bay Area, so I could say that much. But the PO number is PO113242US. And we're working with a 4300 S model SRD with our SlickDevice S1 Controller. State of the art. We have the light tower option with the SlickDevice 2. The recipe we'll be running is a 100-second rinse, followed by a 10-second purge. That's at higher RPMs. The rinse is at low RPMs. And then we stay at the high RPMs, 1800, for our dry 1, before we slow it back down for an additional 300 seconds for our dry 2 at 500 RPMs. Before we get started, I'm going to open the door. We have N2 purging into the bowl. We're running 9 wafers, and this is a peak cassette. I'm going to discuss some of our equipment offerings at Sitek as well as our spare parts and service support during this video. We're just going to spin this up and show that it's fully functional and that it's ready for shipment. So, let's begin. We're in run mode. Okay, so it's an elongated rinse. It's just going to kind of waterfall down the window until we get to our purge, which is the next step. Once we purge in about a minute and a half, the water will start swirling in a circular motion. Then as the recipe progresses, there will be less and less droplets of water on the window as we move on. So this is a new SRD. We provide new and refurbished SRDs. We also provide a multitude of other equipment you may not have known about. Hot items right now, we have a couple spray solvent tools, or SST for short, in our inventory. Other equipment we provide, but is not limited to, includes the box washers such as the HTC 8010, 8020, and 8030, mask cleaners including K&S and Ultra T models. We provide metrology tools including profilometers, ellipsometers, resistivity, and more. We provide barrel ashers and etchers, YES ovens, as well as a variety of microscopes. So if you have any questions or want to see our full equipment catalog, please visit our website www.sitekprocess.com. From there, you could submit a formal RFQ, or you could email us. Our email address is sales@sitekprocess.com. If you would like to speak to a sales rep, you can give us a phone call at 916-797-9000, and we'll connect you with the proper sales rep. So we're running nice and smooth. We have 10 seconds left. We're about to ramp up in RPMs, and the water is going to start swirling. And that's our purge. We'll stay at the high speed for our dry 1. And while our heaters heat up at high speed, we prepare to slow down for dry 2 and really let them heat up the cassette and wafers for our dry 2 when we slow down. So we're in our purge. You see the water is kind of moving a little differently now. And there it is. We're in our dry 1. So SlickDevice is state of the art. If you look at our screen, you can see which valves and actuators are on. As you know, our N2 valve is on, our LPP valve is on throughout the entire recipe, and our heaters are now on. There's even a little imagery right here so you can see exactly which switches or valves and heaters are on. And we're running nice and smooth. SRD is doing great so far. Our customer in the Bay Area is going to be very happy. So the nice thing about the SlickDevice is it's a maintenance technician stream. You don't have to run a recipe to see that everything's working properly. You can go into our maintenance mode screen and individually turn on all the valves to make sure they're working without running a full cycle. In addition to this, there's also the N2 Purge Saver option, which turns off the LPP when you are not running a recipe. You can also turn on an auto purge feature. There's a lot of really cool features. I'm barely touching the face of them. We do have a video that is 20 minutes long. Our company president, Jim Mullaney, does on the SlickDevice and all the bells and whistles. But when we transfer over to our next step of the recipe, dry 2, we're going to slow down, and I'll describe another feature before moving on to our spare parts and service support. Okay, there it is. Our anti-static turns on and dry too. You can also see our anti-static is on. The heaters and anti-static can fail over time, as with any part of a piece of equipment. So you can monitor these and how they are working through a screen that features their pulse that they're giving off. And that's how we monitor if they're failing before they even fail. That being said, it takes years before these parts start to fail. So we're running nice and smooth. You know, we have maybe 30 drops of water, and so far so good. We have about 4.5 minutes left in the recipe. Let's talk about spare parts and service. We are able to provide 100% of the spare parts and repair services necessary for your SRD. The SlickDevice is an upgrade over the PSC 101 and 102 controllers. This is an S model, but it's also available in an F model version for other SRDs. So let's talk about repairs. We can repair the older style controllers. We can repair amps such as the LC4s and LC5s. We rebalance rotors, and we also repair motors, whether it's a brushless type like this SRD. This SRD uses the amp and the brushless, or the older style brush type motors. All the parts I just mentioned can be provided in possibly new or refurbished condition. Give us a call if you have any questions. So 100% spare parts and service is exactly what it sounds like. We can provide start switches, stop switches, door switches, windows, door seals, pressure switches, ACR valves, N2 filters, solenoid valves, tach sensors, rotor stop positioners, which is RSP for short. When we get to the end of the recipe in 3 minutes, the RSP will be mentioned again. We also provide N2 heater cartridges, N2 heater blankets, spray nozzles, static eliminators, any part you can think of, motor isolators. We built all this poly brand new. Anything you need. We are also the OEM for Vertec SRDs. We purchased that product line from Martech about 3 years back. So for all your SRD needs, Semi-Tool or Vertec, please give us a call. We're the worldwide leader in SRD spare parts and service. So we're running well. We have maybe 15 drops of water on the window, and we're super smooth. We're holding steady at 500 RPMs. So we have about 2 minutes left. I'm going to step off camera for a minute here and just let you watch the tool run, and then I'll talk about the end of the recipe. Okay, so just under a minute left. We've touched on our equipment support, our spare parts and service support. We've barely touched the surface of the capabilities of the SlickDevice. I do want to mention that there's password protection, so only certain individuals can set the recipe for the SRD. It's a feature our customers like. Please visit our YouTube channel and find the training video our president Jim Mulaney does, as he goes super into depth and really gets in there to show you how it works. We have 30 seconds left. We don't want to open the door too early because you can cause unwanted damage to your tool. We need to wait for that RSP to fire the rotor into the 12 o'clock position and for the door seal to deflate. Release all N2. So this is a bigger rotor. It's a high profile 8-inch peak cassette with 9 wafers. When the rotor stop positioner fires, or RSP as I mentioned, it's going to teeter before it gets to 12 o'clock. So right now we're braking. The controller will let you know when it's safe to open the door. There it is. Right about 75 RPMs is when it fires. Now we're waiting for the door seal to release. Okay, door seal release. There's two ways to acknowledge a successful process. The controller tells you it's successful first of all. If it weren't successful, it would say what happened and when. And there's a data log, which we go into depth on in that training video I mentioned a couple of times. I can hit OK, or I can just open the door. So I'm going to open the door. And I'm going to feel for warm end 2. Residual droplets of water. This is good. You don't want a bone dry bowl. Cassette is warm to the touch and wafers are dry. Okay, so, and we'll hit OK just for good measure. This has been a successful run of our customers' 4300S model SRD. They're going to be very happy to get this installed in their fab. And we thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.